Hello, everyone. So today I want to talk about beauty, the concept of beauty, the way society values beauty, and the never-ending argument around, is everybody beautiful? Does everybody possess beauty in their own unique human way? And is it a choice to be beautiful? So what inspired me to make this video was the viral TikTok clip that's been going around of a girl named Fanita who was on a podcast where she was asked what's her hot take, and she answered with this.
What is your hot take?
This is gonna sound really mean, but I promise I'm not a mean girl, even though some people think I am. I don't think everyone's beautiful.
Listen.
I don't.
Wait, tell me.
And I think we need to stop lying. I think we need to stop. Like, some people are ugly and that's fine. Like, some people are, and that's okay. Like, not everybody's meant to be like attractive. Like, some people aren't aesthetically pleasing to look at, and that's just a fact. And I'm sorry, I'm tired of like everyone's beautiful. Like, I think everybody's beautiful on the inside or has the potential to be beautiful on the on the inside. But I feel like not everyone's beautiful on the outside, and I'll die on this hill.
And so, of course, she was met with plenty of backlash and feedback from people in the comments and via stitches as well, saying everyone's beautiful, beauty is subjective. And then there's more of the extreme critical comments where people are coming for her looks and saying things like, she's speaking from personal experience, who's gonna tell her, the call is coming from inside the house, things like that. So this clip came up on my For You page, and when I saw it, I truly did not bat an eyelash. I was not offended by this comment, and I didn't really think anyone else would care that much, but it seems like a lot of people are up in arms about this girl saying that not everyone is beautiful. The reason why I was confused is really because I've heard people say this before. This is not like a brand new thing or a profound new statement that's never been said before. Now, where people are getting annoyed with this creator is really because she doesn't technically fit into the westernized ideal standard of beauty. People are saying, well, you know, you're one to talk. And I also think the tone in which she said it is setting people off because, one, she didn't follow up with, I don't fit into the conventional standard of beauty, yet I'm still beautiful, or it's okay to be, well, actually she does say it's okay to be unconventionally beautiful. Not everyone's meant to be beautiful. But again, the way she said it, I think people are filling in the blanks for her. People think she's saying, not everyone's beautiful, but I'm beautiful and I am better than you because of it. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from the feedback that people are responding with. A lot of the people who are making stitches of this whole situation are other Black women, especially Black women who are plus size or have been plus size in the past but lost weight. And I've noticed a lot of people psychoanalyzing her, saying, oh, well, you know, she lost 60 pounds, so now she thinks she's the ish, and she thinks she's all that because she lost weight, but psychologically she's still where she was a few months ago, and she's overcompensating, and she's become arrogant, but is still insecure deep down, all these things.
Yes, you have always been mean. Absolutely. With great weight loss comes great responsibility, and what you are learning is that when you can no longer hide behind your fatness to get away with saying certain things because people do feel bad for you when you are fat and you're being mean to other people and they feel like you're projecting your insecurities, so they try to boost you up. You're learning that the smaller you get, the more you are seen. And the reason people have issues with you now is because they're starting to realize, yeah, Fanita was mean before, but we thought she was mean because she was projecting her insecurities. Now we're starting to see that Fanita's just mean in general. You're just coming across as one of those people that loses a bunch of weight and like low-key forgets where you came from and starts projecting the negative experiences that you had as a heavier person onto other people. And I call that a retaliatory mindset. The bullied becomes the bully. It's a transference of power. And it's unfortunate, but it is not uncommon to happen with people who lose a bunch of weight. So if you're going to lose a bunch of weight and go from being a bigger body person to a smaller body person, there comes a level of responsibility and recognition and expectation with the way that you are going to have to receive the world.
Fanita is not ugly. Let's start there, okay? But what I think is happening is that she thought when she lost all that weight, her like value in the spaces that she has been in recently would grow exponentially. She was mistaken, okay? Fanita, baby girl, you are still a dark-skinned, plus-size Black woman. While you are Black, you are not a Black creator. You have successfully, and congratulations, successfully crossed over into the everybody loves me space where all races, genders, etc., love you. But For you to be a dark-skinned, plus-size black woman who already beat the odds and is sitting in this room, you know that the black women who are usually in those rooms look a little bit more like Zendaya. You are walking on thin ice. Already they think you are just like the funny big black girl. That's what they like you for, and that's tea. That's tea. Me being somebody who has gone to LA and has sit in those rooms, I know damn well, as somebody who was also too something to do something, that you cannot go and sit in nobody's freaking podcast area and talk about some people is ugly. They're not going to think that you are the most beautiful girl on the planet. While she is beautiful, right? She is still a dark-skinned, plus-size black woman. So immediately, if you say something a little bit wrong, you was going to turn it right back into that big black. You feel me?
And I have no opinion or comments on that. I didn't even know she lost weight. But if you're tapped into her as a creator, then this is like seemingly the general consensus that she's lost weight and now she thinks she's better than people, or she's overcompensating her insecurities by coming off as arrogant and saying not everyone is beautiful. Other people are also saying, oh, well, she's always been like this. I always knew she was like this, which is not an unpopular sentiment towards creators who are being canceled. People always like to claim that they've known the creator's true colors the whole time and they've always been a mean person. So I feel like that kind of contradicts the idea that, oh, because she lost weight, she now thinks that she's better than everyone and thinks that she's hot shit and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, people are just mad that a plus size girl is saying not everybody is beautiful. And I think if someone else had said this, people wouldn't care, because other people have said this and didn't care. But it's usually people who are more conventionally attractive, or you know fit into the mold of what is conventionally attractive. Like that girl Carmelita Fox, you know who that is? She's like, stop being a fatty, put the fork down, being skinny is high vibrational. She does that kind of stuff on TikTok.
You're sitting up there fat and filled with excuses, and the reason you can't lose the weight is because you haven't been fasting. Oh, so you want to eat this and not go to the gym? Well, start throwing this shit out. That's gonna be your new arm workout from now on. You lack portion control. That's your problem. And when I lost the weight, my life got so much better. No one wanted to tell me that I was overweight, and no one wanted to tell me that my teeth were crooked. I'm just telling you the facts. Ask so many women how they were treated after losing the weight, and they'll tell you that the difference was night and day. It's not fatphobic to want to be thin, and it's not fatphobic to think that thin looks better. That's why there's $1 billion industry dedicated to losing weight.
And sure, she has gotten a lot of backlash for being fatphobic and stuff, but the point is, I think the more conventionally attractive you are, the more you can get away with saying things like this. But in my opinion, I do think what she said is fairly true. Like, yeah, not everybody, if there's a conventional beauty standard, if there is a type of beauty that exists that is ideal or glamorized, not everybody is going to fit into that type of beauty, into that box. Not everyone's going to have the features to meet that criteria. So let's define conventional beauty. To be conventionally attractive means to fall within common beauty standards or to have features that society as a whole deems desirable. In the United States, conventionally attractive features include clear skin, a symmetrical face, and a fit body, among others. So, obviously, not everybody will have these things all together at once. And you can be attractive without having clear skin. You can be attractive without having a fit body. You can be attractive without having a symmetrical face. I talked about this in an old video called TikTok's Obsession with Beauty Confirmation, where I shamelessly flaunted my symmetrical face via the TikTok filter. No shame. But having a symmetrical face doesn't mean you're attractive or not. But there are certain features that make you more attractable. There are certain features that deem you more attractive in the eyes of society. And so I don't think everyone is conventionally attractive, but that's okay. It's really okay. And obviously, human beauty goes beyond physical looks. But that's not really what we're talking about here. Nobody cares about the inner beauty. We're talking about the face, the body, the physicality of it all. And I think it's very patronizing and just delusional and out of touch with reality to say, oh, everybody is beautiful. And I don't think we should put so much emphasis and value on physical beauty. Now, is that how society works? No. And so I don't think it's fair to say everyone is conventionally attractive or conventionally beautiful, because that's not true. But yes, everybody does possess beauty. Everyone's beautiful in their own way, whether it's, a feature that is considered unconventional but is still attractive on that person, person, or if it just means inner beauty, beauty from within who you are as a person, etc. Something that I have noticed, especially on like TikTok or other social medias, is whenever there's like a group of girls and there's one girl who's plus size, I've noticed people tend to overcompensate with the compliments they give to the plus size girl, because it's almost like being like, oh yeah, well, she needs it. You know, she needs a confidence boost. She needs us to tell her how beautiful she is. It must be so hard to be plus size. It must be so hard to be fat because nobody thinks you're beautiful, but it's okay because I think you're beautiful. You know what I mean? It's kind of that patronizing energy, which is like, in my opinion, doesn't really contribute to the idea of like equality and treating everybody the same regardless of what they look like. Obviously, we should be giving love to everybody. That I'm not saying never compliment a fat person because it's patronizing. I just mean make it genuine. And I feel like people can tell when you're trying to do that, because I feel like I've been in a situation like that where, like, not necessarily for my weight, but maybe for like my color, being like the only black girl in a room, and like the white girls purposely point out my blackness and being like, but it's beautiful though. And it's like, yeah, I know it's beautiful. You don't have to fucking tell me that it is, or remind me as if you're doing charity. Also, we know that not everyone is conventionally attractive. We also know that beauty is subjective and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Y'all swore up and down on TikTok and on Twitter saying that Maddie Healy was a fugly, ugly, troll, dusty mess who was dating Taylor Swift, and y'all were mad. Y'all had no problem calling him ugly, but you know, everybody's beautiful, right? Or like when Billie Eilish was dating that older guy and everyone was like, oh my god, he's so ugly, he's so ugly. Y'all are okay with calling people ugly. But at the same time, that just proves that beauty is subjective and we find different things attractive depending on who you are. Pete Davidson is kind of the poster child for unconventional beauty. People are obsessed with that man and find him so incredibly attractive, but some people find him to be severely unattractive. And that's just how it goes. Now, obviously, we can't talk about this topic without talking about pretty privilege, which there's an old video. One of my first commentary videos is about this topic. Watch it at your own risk. But, you know, I said earlier, our society is so obsessed with beauty, and we shouldn't be. But the thing is, of course, we're obsessed with beauty because the prettier you are, the better you are treated in life. People who are more attractive tend to be granted more opportunities. It's easier to make friends or even to get a job. And with that, of course, we're going to chase after beauty because it's currency at the end of the day, especially when you do something like social media, or you're an entertainer, or you do anything that is visual. Looking good is something that will help you in life. Like, I've literally had people say like, oh, do you think your YouTube success is because of the way you look? And I'm like, oh, I mean, I know, but also I guess I can't say no completely. Like, obviously I want my videos to be a reflection of my intellect, my research, my insight, whatever. But do I try to look attractive in my videos? Of course. And you know, you're probably more likely to click on a thumbnail with an attractive person than someone who looks like they just rolled out of the damn gutter. Also, I want to defend that video because although I'm pretty sure I even spelled privilege wrong in the intro card on that video, and it was filmed on my iPhone, which nothing's wrong with that in the beginning, but some people are saying, oh, well, like, you can't compare yourself to your childhood self, like you're calling your child self ugly, like you can't do that because you're a kid, blah blah blah. And of course, yeah, I'm not trying to sit here and be like, man, I was so ugly when I was in the 5th grade, nor would I ever call a child ugly. But the thing is, children still live in this world. Children are still human beings that go throughout this world and are actually still subject to the beauty standards of society. And regardless of how old I was, it was my experience, and I literally saw how my life changed from being, you know, the awkward chubby kid with glasses to being a more thinned out post-puberty, post-contact lens Invisalign version of myself, and how differently people treated me. I noticed that making friends became easier. I was treated nicer at school by kids who were previously kind of rude to me or just like didn't like me, and strangers were more kind and helpful, and people wanted to be my friend for like no reason. Family members commented on my appearance, and I've had people literally say to me, honestly, I just wanted to be your friend because I thought you were pretty. Or, oh my god, you're so pretty, let's be friends. Like, things like that started to happen. And, you know, when I was going through my little chubby phase, people in my life, adults included, showed dissatisfaction with the way my body looked, even as someone who was under 18, as someone who was in middle school. And it was at a very young age where I realized what my body was supposed to look like. And once you go through that shift as a kid, it really changes your self-perception, and it can lead to a lot of insecurity. I know for me that's what happened. And, you know, I started to realize, oh, I guess I am chubby. I guess I don't look like the other girls at summer camp. I guess I'm not as thin as I should be. And I stopped eating for a while, and then I got extremely thin. And when I got extremely thin very fast, people at school started to be nice to me and say, oh my gosh, how'd you lose all the weight? Oh my God, like you look so good. And people started being nicer to me. And then eventually I healed my relationship with food and started eating normally, and my body just kind of regulated itself. And I don't know, I think it was just puberty, but like, especially in college, I felt like I had such a complete identity shift because I was pretty, I was attractive to people, and also nobody knew me. So it was like I had a fresh new start, and I started to identify as a pretty person, as someone with pretty privilege, which was not my experience going throughout life. Even, I remember once I posted that picture of myself in the thumbnail on Instagram, and so many people were like, oh my God, I didn't even recognize you. Like, that's you? Holy shit. Once in person, someone said, I saw your post on Instagram, and I was like, wow, like, you're so brave for posting that, because he said most attractive people wouldn't want to expose themselves in that way. They wouldn't want to expose their past and show people what they used to look like because they'd want to run from it now that they're attractive. So don't think just because I was a kid that I was exempt from beauty standards. Even kids themselves, they know what beauty standards are. They may not be able to define it, but they know what is attractive and what isn't. And universally, whether you're a child or an adult, being chubby is not considered conventionally attractive. And so regardless of my age, that stuff was real. There were things that I did to improve my appearance, to, you know, feel more accepted by society and by my family and by my peers. And so that brings me to my next point. Is beauty a choice? There's a sentiment that's been going around for the past few years that's like, you're not ugly, you're just poor. And it basically is saying that, you know, a lot of these people you compare yourself to online, celebrities, influencers, they have access to a whole range of beauty treatments and surgeries and personal trainers, dietitians, etc. to help them become more attractive, which is very true. There's actually another clip by Miss Finita that has gone viral along with the original clip I was talking about, where she says,
some people aren't ugly. I think some people are just poor. Because I feel like if I gave 50 grand to the ugliest bitch I could find, she would be better than Kim Kardashian. Sometimes it's just lack of funds. Like, sometimes you don't have money for like moisturizer or good skincare or good makeup products, or maybe you need a rhinoplasty, maybe you need a boob job, maybe you need a hair transplant. I feel like some people aren't ugly. They just like don't know their potential.
Yeah, there are things that you can do, things you can buy to make yourself more attractive. I don't necessarily think plastic surgery alone and procedures will just completely transform you and make you attractive. Even a face transplant can go wrong. I don't care if you crack and reshape every single bone in her body from head to toe. Plastic surgery alone, I don't think is going to make you better than Kim Kardashian. Kim Kardashian has plenty of surgeries, but she was still very beautiful before she got surgery or any procedures done. Because you know what happens is you get so much surgery and you start looking unreal. You start giving uncanny valley, and it's just scary. And it's like your eye is like, I know you're supposed to look attractive, but there's just something very off and it's scaring me. And I really don't want to promote this idea that surgery will make you beautiful and that's what you have to do to be beautiful. I really want to stress in this video that who you are naturally, what you look like naturally, is beautiful. Now, if you want to get lip fillers or Botox, obviously that's your business. And if that's what gets you through the day, that's what makes you feel more confident, by all means do that shit. Now, will the fillers migrate? Yes. Will the Botox affect your face long term? Yes. And we will talk about that in a moment. Because a lot of these surgeries and procedures are a result of societal influence anyway. I know you've probably heard this before, but if you were on a deserted island, would you be getting that BBL? Probably not. If you were on a deserted island, would you be getting that preventative Botox or injections into your hip dips? Probably not. And I know, we don't live in a deserted island. We live in a society. We live with social media and other people around us, so I get it. But I think it's really important to understand why, if you choose to get surgeries, why you're doing it. And I don't think most surgery is for yourself. I'm not saying exclusively 100% everyone who gets surgery is doing it for other people, but there's a good amount of people who I think are lying to themselves when they say they're getting titty implants and a BBL just for them, just because they want to, and it's only for them, not for any external reasons or to feel accepted by other people. And I'm not saying I'm anti-plastic surgery either. Truly, what you do with your body is none of my business. But I just want to say that if you are feeling insecure, that's okay. That is totally valid. But know that some of your insecurities might just be a trend, a phase. People wanted to be as skinny as possible with no ass whatsoever and be shaped like capital P's. And now people want to have an hourglass shape and want BBLs. But even that's going out of style now and people want to be thin again. Like, it's just always changing. So don't get surgeries based off of trends, please. And do you want to know a little trick? In a way, I feel like becoming more attractive was a very mental thing for me. Like, not to be like, I manifested my beauty, because a lot of it is just genetics. Like, I look like my mother and she's a very beautiful woman. But aside from doing little things like doing my hair and makeup or wearing outfits that are flattering, I remember in high school, I got to a point where I was like, I'm so tired of feeling like I'm ugly. I'm so tired of thinking that I'm fat. I'm so tired of thinking that something is inherently wrong with the way that I look. And so I started to just tell myself, no, you are beautiful. You're actually very, very, very pretty. You actually are, you know, like, you have a nice body. Things like that. And although I didn't believe it at the time, I just kept telling myself over and over again. And eventually I started to feel that way. And it was reflected back to me from the outside world. I started to get more compliments. I started having people saying, oh my God, Madison, you're so pretty. And it was crazy to me because I'm like, I don't feel like I've really changed that much. But something about, like, I think it's all about in the way you carry yourself as well. And like, it was something about like being in that mental space that just made me more attractive. And maybe unconsciously, I started to do things that made me more attractive, or it was just the way that I carried myself, or like the light from within started to radiate outward. As I developed and got older, I just started to become more beautiful without having to do anything drastic to my physical body. And someone who's very physically attractive can still be ugly, of course, whether it's your personality or just, you know, even if you're super attractive but you can't take a compliment and you're super insecure and you're walking around like this, like, that does make an impact. Like, confidence goes a really, really long way. Someone who may not fit into the conventional beauty standards can still be deemed as very attractive because of the way that they carry themselves. But going back to surgery, I just really wanted to say, like, again, a lot of this stuff is made up. I was listening to Tana Mojo's podcast and she was talking about how she was contemplating getting a BBL because she was tired of maintaining her shots for her hip dips.
I guess that's true. I need to like weigh out all my options. I'm just so tired of getting these injections because it literally, like, I have videos of it. You've seen it. The needle is like this fucking big. They use a cannula needle. It's like so thick and it's like a knife going in and out of your ass. I can't walk for a week.
Come and go. You're not going to even want that in a year.
I've been getting these injections for like 5 years now, and like,
yeah, and 5 years was the shelf life of the fat ass. That was how long. That's
but
how
it's
long
not
it's
to
been
have
trending.
a fat ass. Like, I will never look like a BBL girl. I don't want that journey. For me, that is so out. It's more to just like fill hip dips and have like a slightly bigger butt. Like, that'll never leave. Like, just having a nice ass and hips. Like, you know what I mean? That'll like always be a thing.
I know.
But yeah, essentially, I want to stop getting the damn injections so bad to the point that I would just like to like suck and pump one time and call it a day.
And the whole time I was like, what the hell are hip dips? What is this? I mean, I know what they are, but like, I hadn't heard of this until maybe like 2019, 2020. And I swear to God, this is just some made up bullshit that's meant to sell you stuff, which is clearly what's happening here, because she was thinking about getting a whole ass BBL, one of the most intrusive, dangerous, life-threatening surgeries of all time. That is elective. And I was just like, damn, like, they really got her. They got her. It's working. The programming is working, and she lives in LA, so it's really hard not to drink the Kool-Aid out there. So I get it, but I'm just like, a hip dip? We're risking our lives over hip dips? Like, I don't know. I just feel like first of all, I've never noticed hip dips on anybody. And if I have, I've never thought, you know what? She needs to fix that. And I don't mean to minimize anyone's insecurities. Like, we all have insecurities, and sometimes it doesn't make sense to other people, but to us, it really bothers us. So I understand that. But a lot of these things, these little flaws, if you will, are just manufactured insecurities meant to separate you from your money. And because surgeries become so normalized, more and more young people are getting procedures done that they don't need. Like, this whole preventative Botox thing, personally, I think it's bullshit. Maybe I'm wrong, but there are still like long-term effects of getting fillers and Botox. And I'm seeing it now on TikTok. People are already saying like, I stuffed my face with Botox and filler and I regret it because I just lost any sort of awareness of what my face actually looks like.
I've been getting cosmetic procedures since I was very young because I was always taught that Botox and filler were a precautionary measure to prevent aging. And I wish I had someone to tell me the things that I know now. This is a photo of me around 2019. It was 2 to 3 years into my filler Botox journey. And I had body dysmorphia, but not the common kind. You know how people think they look a lot worse than they actually do? I thought I looked a lot better than I actually did. I had no idea that my face was this fucking humongous. And I thought I looked really great. So I carried on with the filler and my cheeks started widening more and more to the point where my eyes were actually getting smaller because there was so much filler on my cheeks that it was bringing my whole face up. Here is me later 2019 and this is the fucking trenches, okay? That was rock bottom. I was at an event and there were photographers there and they were taking photos of the whole event, and when you are not ready for a photo and they snap a photo of you, that is you. That is the real you. And when I saw that photo, I was like, what is that? You might be asking, how the fuck did you reach that point? And fair enough. This happens a lot to people that get filler regularly though. It's an addiction. When you fill out your face, you're actually stretching out your skin, right? And then when the filler starts to go away, you see your skin start to get a little bit looser and go back to its original form. And when you have a warped perception of not only beauty but also yourself, you panic and feel like you need more filler. So you go back to the surgeon and get more. However, when you're actually overdoing the filler, it starts to go from a psychological thing to an actual physical need for more filler. By that I mean, when you're stretching out your face for so long from all that filler, it takes a way longer period of time for your face to go back to its original form, and instead it starts to sag. So you actually need to keep filling your face to keep that plump look. Basically, it's a fucking never-ending vicious cycle, and the only way my cycle was broken was because of COVID, and all the cosmetic surgery clinics were closed. And I also started wearing masks, and I realized I looked a lot better when I covered my cheeks. So I stopped getting filler, and you can see my face is still very plump, but it is starting to go down. Now this is around the 6-month mark of me not getting any Botox or filler, and I thought it was all out of my system, and I was never going to do Botox or filler again. I never had to worry about it. I was very happy with the way I looked as well. But I was very wrong. It wasn't until I kissed someone and they realized that my nose was as hard as a knuckle. And that was because I had so much buildup of filler around my face. And as I mentioned before, I was getting filler in my nose as well. There are parts of my face that the filler just wasn't going away naturally, so I needed to go to the doctors to get it dissolved. After having filler in my face for so long and getting it dissolved suddenly, my face kind of just dropped. And my eyes are always saggy. I constantly looked tired for months. I always looked so fucking pissed off at someone when I actually wasn't. It was just because my face had dropped so much. And I was walking around like this for about a year. And I think if I had been doing filler for way longer into my 30s, when my skin's a lot weaker and has less elasticity, I would have been living like that forever. If I had any advice for someone who was getting cosmetic surgery, you know, it's your life. I can't really tell you what to do, but sounds so it. Sounds so it.
That's why I think it's really dangerous for people under 25 to be getting these surgeries and like literal face transplants, because your brain hasn't finished developing, so you can't really understand how this will affect you in the long term. And also your face and your body is still changing. Like, your grown woman body hasn't come in yet, but you're 23 getting a BBL. It's like, just wait a little bit. Especially after you have a child, like, things can change. I think Cardi B talked about this.
After I gave birth to my son, my ass was fucking huge. And the reason why my ass was so fucking huge, because bitch, I almost fucking gained 20 pounds. And you already know my ass already have some motherfucking ass shots. So my ass was already fucking huge as shit. In August, I did surgery and I removed 95% of my bioperimeters. If you know what bioperimeters is ass shots. All I'm gonna say is, right, that if you young, if you 19, if you 20, if you 21, and sometimes you too skinny, and you be like, oh my God, I don't got enough fat to put on my ass and everything, so you resort to ass shots, bitch, don't fucking do it. Like, I am super against motherfucking ass shots. I'm super against body limiters.
It's funny because in the same breath, we'll be like, everyone's beautiful, body positivity, but at the same time, we'll be like, here's my 12-step anti-aging looks maxing skincare routine as I'm on my way to the med spa. And of course, social media is to blame because we're constantly comparing ourselves to literal sim characters on Instagram. And after a while, we start to think, why don't I look like this Instagram filter? You know, you do the filter and then you take it off and you're like, oh my God, I'm hideous. And so then you try to start doing things to make yourself look like a sim. People want to look like Instagram filters in real life now, and it's very scary to me. It's very scary. It's actually very beautiful to look human. Speaking of obsession with beauty, I want to talk about this trend called looksmaxxing. I don't know if you've heard of it. This is something new to me, but essentially it's maximizing your looks, maximizing your appearance, implementing micro habits to improve your overall appearance. So for women, anything as small as getting your nails done, I think could be considered looksmaxxing, or getting your eyebrows done, eyebrow tinting, lash lifts, microblading, etc. However, looksmaxxing seems to be most popular amongst men online. I could be wrong, but I think it has some incel foundations to it. Not that if you say looksmaxxing, you're an incel, but I think the idea is like incels trying to do looksmaxxing to improve their appearance so they can be closer to a Chad, so women want to have sex with them or something like that. I could be wrong. I wanted to spare myself the mental anguish of going into the incel route or the incel background of looksmaxxing, but I feel like this definitely started on Reddit. Anyway, so looksmaxxing specifically for men, which seems to be the target demographic for this, is doing things like improving your physique, lowering your body fat percentage, increasing your lean muscle mass, improving your hair. Some guy on TikTok was like, get a perm.
This is what all models do to look so much better than the average person. And the funny thing is my model friends have actually told me that they're told to gatekeep this information. They don't want average people knowing this because it's going to make them look significantly better. And it's pretty ironic because it's trending all over TikTok right now and it's called looksmaxxing. For example, if you see comments on a video where it says like, he has a negative canthal tilt, it's over. That's a really niche topic in looksmaxxing and they made it into a joke. But yeah, the word is getting out and there's so much information. So what I'm doing in this video is I'm dumbing it down to 4 things that if you do these things, you're going to look significantly better than you do right now. Number 1 is maxing out your hair. This includes the hair on your head, your eyebrows, and your facial hair. So if you're a guy, you need to start doing what girls do. Get a perm if you have to, use hair products, tidy up your eyebrows and eyelashes. For eyelashes, something you could do, for example, is like add rosemary oil to make them more healthy, whatever. The next thing is literally just working out. Go to the gym. Having an insanely aesthetic physique is going to put you away from the average person. The third thing is literally skincare. Wash your face with a facial cleanser and use a moisturizer. That simple. And if you want, you can use an exfoliator. And the last thing is being a low body fat percentage. Literally, if you do these 4 things, you're going to look like a model, or at least way better than you do right now.
Or preventing hair loss or stimulating hair growth using products like minoxidil and derma rollers. Minoxidil seems to be a very popular product for the looksmaxxing community. If you want to improve your facial structure, you can use a gua sha or even grow a beard. Doing skincare, using good skincare products, having nice teeth, maybe getting Invisalign or teeth whitening. So essentially taking care of yourself is what looksmaxxing is. But men need like some intense title to justify it so it doesn't seem girly. Looksmaxxing! Wash your face at night. Comb your hair. Go to the gym. Like, it's literally, it's just take care of yourself, bro. Now, there are more niche aspects of the looksmaxxing trend that to me seem borderline, if not full-blown psychotic. Like the canthal tilt. Something that I've just learned about thanks to TikTok. There was like a filter going around where people were like, oh my God, I have a negative canthal tilt. It's over for me. And it's just a filter. And I don't even think it accurately depicts your canthal tilt. Not that it matters. But what is a canthal tilt? Great question. The term canthal tilt refers to the angle or slant of the outer corners of the eyes in relation to the horizontal plane of the face. So the canthal tilt is, to me, arbitrary, honestly. It's kind of the same idea of having facial symmetry. It doesn't make you attractive or less attractive just because you have a negative canthal tilt. It doesn't mean you're ugly. But kids on TikTok are like obsessed with hyper-analyzing their looks and trying to find ways to confirm whether they're attractive or not. And I'm like, just look in the mirror. Or what do people tell you? But I think some of this is like body dysmorphia, I think. Because it's like I have no clue what I actually look like. So I need these like determined markers to tell me if I'm actually attractive or not. Another interesting practice within the looksmaxxing community called mewing, which is basically an exercise for your face to like define your jaw. So you press your tongue to the roof of your mouth and it's supposed to you know, like tighten the jaw and make it look more defined. And so a lot of people do that like in pictures and stuff, but you can also, I guess, do it as an exercise to just sharpen the jaw over time. I don't know if that actually works. And then the last one I'll mention is hunter eyes. So hunter eyes is basically just squinting is what I understand. You're supposed to like do it to strengthen your orbital muscles so it improves your gaze and like the shape of your eyes, I guess.
Hunter eyes, training the surrounding muscle mass. The simplest way to improve your gaze over time is to learn to avoid using the muscles in the forehead and properly strengthen the orbital muscles. All well-known supermodels know how to engage their eyes and use this technique to enhance various aspects of their beauty. For example, if we analyze Anna's face at the end of his adolescence, we will notice that he had a relaxed gaze with well-defined orbitals. We believe that upon becoming famous, he received advice to be more mindful of his eyes, and with time, he did so. The achieved muscle mass created the attractive gaze he possesses today.
Similar to mewing, I guess if you do it over and over again, it'll change the shape of your face. Personally, I just find it scary. I don't think most people can pull this off without looking like they have some sort of eye infection or they need glasses desperately. Like imagine if I was doing the whole video like this and I'm like, yeah, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. That's scary. That's unnerving. So yeah, there's all sorts of things you can do to try to make yourself more beautiful, more attractive. Whether they work or not is, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But if you have tried these things, please comment down below. I'd love to know. And I also don't know if it's worth it. This is a lot of work. This is so much work, but you know, this is coming from someone who's like secure in their appearance. So, you know, I don't find it necessary for me to like clench my jaw and squint my eyes and like friggin' contort my mind, body, and soul to be more attractive. So maybe that's easy for me to say. But, you know, if we're looking at the obsession of beauty on a spectrum, I'd say the looksmaxxing thing is like on the edge. But where I think most people seem to be right now is in the middle of like this obsession with anti-aging. I swear to God, Gen Z is obsessed with anti-aging. And it's very scary to me. I don't know why people are so afraid of having a line on their face by the time they hit 35. Now, I get aging in general can be hard. I was talking to my dad about this the other day because he's in what I would describe as the final frontier of life, but his biggest gripe with aging is the fact that he can't do the things that he wants to do anymore and his body is decaying. Like literally his body is you know, and he's still in perfectly good health for someone his age, but I can see how aging in that way is difficult. But I think most people are more concerned about aging in the face and aging in terms of aesthetics rather than aging as like a physical consequence. If that were the case, people would be like lifting weights so my muscles don't deteriorate rapidly, preemptively. It's more like getting Botox at 19 so I don't look like an old crinkly hag by 25. And, you know, skincare has just become such a booming industry, and anti-aging is one of those things that I think is pushed on us to sell us things like serums and retinols, collagen supplements, microneedling, LED therapy, lymphatic drainage. The list goes on. There's literal 14-year-olds on TikTok being like, here's what I do to stop the aging process.
Here's some things that I do to slow down the aging process as a 14-year-old. I started doing most of these things at 12.
Since I stopped getting fillers and Botox, I know for me, I was just like, oh, I want to see my well-earned cry lines and smile lines. I hope my smile lines get deeper and deeper, and I laugh more and more. And I just think aging is like it can be such a beautiful thing.
You're so beautiful. I know it. And ladies, don't let anybody tell you you are ever past your prime.
I know that natural beauty is more of the vibe now. Like people aren't so obsessed with surgery as much as they are doing procedures or doing treatments to make them look like they are naturally beautiful without, you know, winged eyeliner and fake lashes and whatnot. And so as a shift away from that like 2015, 2016 ideal of beauty, we've gone into more honestly like invasive methods to maintain our beauty and to look like we just wake up gorgeous every day. But it's like gone so extreme that even children are buying into this. I went to a Sephora event recently and there were so many literal children. I'm talking elementary. And I was like, do kids wear makeup now? Like, I'm so confused. Why are there so many kids here? And I realized, oh, it's not the makeup, it's the skincare. Because kids now are on TikTok and seeing little girls apply Drunk Elephant and those like glow dewdrop things. And that's like the vibe, like that's the new thing, which, by the way, very expensive. And I don't know. To me, I just feel like it's just a way to sell people things rather than trying to encourage people to take care of themselves, because there are things that you can do to ensure long-term health so the aging process isn't painful. So you don't develop heart disease or osteoporosis or Alzheimer's. But people aren't really talking about that. They're just talking about the aesthetics of it. But, you know, I've listed all these things that you can do and buy that people are doing to achieve a higher form of beauty. And so does that answer the question, is beauty a choice? And I think in many ways, yes, there are things that you can do day to day to improve your appearance. I think beauty is a choice that you make daily, because even people who are naturally attractive can look unattractive if they don't take care of themselves. And so choices I make every day to be attractive is like washing my face or going to the gym or wearing a flattering outfit that flatters my body shape, things like that. I don't wear makeup every day, but when I choose to wear makeup, that is a choice I'm making to enhance my beauty. I get 7 to 8 hours of sleep. That shit'll make you look good. Drinking enough water every single day, having a balanced diet, things like that. Those are choices that I make really for my health, but also the healthier you are, usually the more attractive you tend to look. Not always. You can still be looking good physically, but you're not doing well health-wise. But there are things that I do and things that everybody does to maintain themselves and to look more attractive. And some do more things. Some go to further extremes where they're actually getting surgery or procedures that'll make them more attractive. And, you know, I guess the best example would be like Kylie Jenner, maybe. Obviously, we've seen the way that her surgeries and procedures have affected the way that she looks. She looked very different when she was a teenager versus now as an adult. In extreme ways and in little ways, beauty is a choice that you can make. Some people will fit into the conventional beauty standard naturally without trying, and some people will have to work harder to fit the conventional standard of beauty. But there are always things that you can do to improve your appearance. And when those things do improve your appearance, you will notice the way that people treat you and how differently people treat you with or without these things that enhance your beauty. Like if I came on here wearing a dirty potato sack with a half-shaved head, chronic cystic acne to the point where I couldn't even open my eyes, yellow ass crooked teeth with a beer gut, you probably wouldn't be like, oh my God, Madison, you're so gorgeous. Just natural beauty. That just probably wouldn't happen. Or maybe you would because you felt bad for me. But anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to know your thoughts. Is beauty a choice? Are you just bound to be ugly no matter how hard you try? Is everybody beautiful? Is it subjective? You know what else is so beautiful about me? Probably even more beautiful than my face is my voice. I have music, if you didn't know, and I have a song called I Killed My Clone with a music video on this here channel. So if you'd like to go check it out, link is in the description. Today's sponsor is my Patreon. If you would like bonus content and early access to videos, then go check out my Patreon. Thank you and good night.